Did you mean Adam Wainwright, the Cardinals pitcher for the last 20 years?
Yeah, now that you mention it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. It is our greatest singers of all time, top 25 lists. We've each made our own list, and we're going through one at a time. Every week, we each reveal one more entry on our lists. This week, we are up to number 21. If you haven't seen the first 4 episodes, go back and check those out. It's Cram's turn to start us off, so who you got at number 21?
Well, I'm about to get back in the good graces of our viewing community after a lot of people were like, Matt Healy? I don't know about that. He's not from the classic rock radio stations. There will be plenty of more contemporary artists coming, but for now and next week, I'm going classic rock. My number 21, big grin from Joe coming up. I got Donald Fagen, one of my favorite singers of all time. And I think because Steely Dan has just such phenomenal lyrics with, their irony and sarcasm and their venom that you kind of take for granted that you need a really good frontman performer to communicate all of that well-written page. And Fagen is the man for it. He's got that sneering, snaky edge to his voice, while it being kind of quite bassy and smooth and jazzy. It's got that cool cat aura about him. And then in a lot of the, phrasing and words that he comes across, he has a little bit of like a lisp at the end of some of his phrasing and gives it kind of like this precious sassiness to it. But always masculine and has like just that really thick smoothness to it that I just love. The sound of his voice is great. I think he's an underrated technician. Obviously, he doesn't hit super, super high notes. He doesn't really slip into falsetto and stuff. But in his octave and his range, he can really maneuver in that specific area, like in Do It Again, when he's doing the verses and hitting those high notes. It's not really easy to get to those without cracking and kind of getting into falsettos and getting into a different stage altogether, but he pulls it off. And just like his character so much, and he tells a story with the way he sings. The just irony and sarcasm, sneaks out, like in Ricky Don't Lose That Number when he goes, but that's okay.
We hear you're leaving, that's okay.
Like he just has a way of communicating, exactly what's in his head or the character of the story perfectly with just the pitch and kind of the style and the bending he does with his voice. And there's this great level of just kind of like distrust and subtext with the way he performs his songs. Like you don't really know when he's being honest, when he's kind of making fun of the audience or ragging your chain a little bit. And then there's times when he's just completely cuts out the bullshit and just kills it, like and Do It Again, which I think is a pretty cool, like seductive and sexy manner to it.
Now you swear and kick in Vegas that you're not a gambling man.
But really, I think his number one strength as a singer is just his bounce and his rhythm. He sings like he's playing bass sometimes. Like in the verses in Kid Charlemagne, there's just a way he has a hop in the way he says, like, those San Francisco nights.
Those San Francisco nights were the best in town.
Like he's just accenting each little syllable perfectly, like he's playing the drums on him. It's great going back from the snare and the bass. He just really has tremendous rhythm, And in Deacon Blues, like learn to work the saxophone, like the way he kind of like brings down like the end of the word sax and then lifts it up and has like a little bit of volume swells and all of this stuff, the way he sings, it's just perfect.
Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel. Drink scotch.
He really uses his voice as a complete instrument to give, everything feel. Nothing ever is flat the way he sings it. Everything's is rounded out or has an inflection to it. It's just constantly telling a story. And just, the genre of the band matches his voice so well. It falls somewhere in that central jazz genre with rock and theater storytelling sense. I don't think he gets enough credit as a singer. His voice is very identifiable. You know it the second you hear it. So, yeah, I'm going with Donald Fagen, number 21.
Never been more proud of you, ever. This is the high point for Cram's appreciation.
Well, I appreciate that, Joe.
This next artist Well, let's just say I've already talked about her. That was last week when I screwed it up. So to make amends, I also lied about her not being on the list because it's more fun this way. I got my number 21, Agnetha Falskog of ABBA. Yes. You can't have Annefrid Lyngstad without Agnetha Falskog. Annefrid probably has a better voice if, looking at a purely technical thing. She was the warm middle, but Agnetha, that's where, the heartbreak, that's where the icy side of, emotions come in. And I don't think anyone maybe ever is better at conveying the emotion, the heartbreak, as well as she was able to. You guys never picked it up, which I'm not surprised about. But at this point in time, I think critically, ABBA's kind of got a renaissance as far as how they're viewed. And a lot of it comes down to, I think, Agnetha Falskog's way that she channels emotions. You have a song like SOS, which probably her finest moment.
When you're gone, how can I even try to go on? When you're gone, though I try.
Just the way that she's able to take the words and make you feel the heartache, the heartbreak, the loss. It's just perfect. It's, it goes beyond the words that she's singing and just the emotion that she conveys in her voice. And she has that like ethereal, thin, like it's almost fragile vocals, like she could shatter into a million pieces at any time. When she's singing "When You're Gone, How Can I Even Try to Go On," you feel it. You feel, I just want to cry along with her. "When I Kiss the Teacher," where she's high-spirited, a little flirty. It's almost the complete opposite. She pulls it off so well.
One of these days, gonna tell him I dream of him every night.
The ethereal nature of her voice, and the effervescent "My Love, My Life."
I can see it all so clearly. Answer me sincerely. Was it a dream, a lie?
Her singing is just like so soft and feathery, and it almost floats away, but still extremely powerful. Pitch perfect. Her close harmonies with Annefrid are, like I talked about last week, just perfect. They're perfection in my ears. ABBA, they wrote some stilted lyrics. Their music was a little corny. I totally admit that. And yet, I just think the way that her and Annefrid sing is just so emotionally like rich that it just completely blows away any of that kind of cheesy lameness. And I just love it. She could do "Icy," "Under Attacking Soldiers," "Regretful," "Slipping Through My Fingers." The song that I accidentally attributed to Annefrid last time, "The Winner Takes It All." Just every emotion on display there. And the way she just moves through the song, the soft searching intro, the powerful chorus. It's just perfect. I think she's just a phenomenal singer. Doesn't have, the greatest voice compared to Annefrid or, some of my other picks, maybe Elizabeth Fraser, the classic soul singers, but just the way she's able to do emotions, just run through the gamut, I think is amazing. And I love her. She's my ice maiden, Agnetha Falskog.
So that's really not a correction. You didn't give someone the boot to get her on?
No, I wouldn't do that. I think it's pretty clear. Like, as great as Annefrid is, I don't think there's a lot of people who would pick her over Agnetha.
I think you're right, but I considering you had them backwards.
Well, I also did my notes 5 minutes before the video, so.
Did I say Donald Fagen during my thing? Because I meant Michael McDonald.
All right. My pick for my 21st favorite singer of all time, I've got Rufus Wainwright son of Loudon Wainwright III and Kate McGarrigle. He's just got like this elastic voice. He seems to be able to stretch it in any direction that he wants to. He can really soar. He's got this great flair for the dramatic as well. His delivery often feels really theatrical. But at the same time, there's always like a ton of feeling in it. It's hard to pick examples of like specific songs to listen to because he just always sounds so good. His songs all have like tremendous passion in them, and the way he builds them up and uses dynamics in his singing, starting quiet usually and building up to a big crescendo at some point in the song. Yeah, I just think he's incredible. You can hear those things in songs like Tulsa or Greek Song or Go Ahead.
That poor girl who waited in the rain for out to meet me, not you, baby. But once she hears the song, won't live it down. Oh, the pearls of China fade instead of
And he does have famous parents, but I don't think his life was necessarily easy. And I think that's where you get a lot of that emotion from. You know, he was a gay kid in the 80s and he was raped at 14 in Central Park and survived the attack by faking a seizure. He was a crystal meth addict in the early 2000s, temporarily lost his vision. So kind of a crazy life. And I think maybe kind of coming up with famous parents and having kind of a spotlight on him early maybe added to the pressure. So I think there's just a lot of pain and struggle in his voice and the way he sings. I think he's really just incredible at conveying that through the way he sings. And I think interestingly, compared to the rest of the singers on my list, he probably has a more different and diverse selection of influences than most of the other singers. I think he's coming from kind of a different place vocally than most of my other favorite singers. He was a big opera fan early in his life. Judy Garland is a major influence. He did an entire live album of Judy Garland covers, Edith Piaf. So not necessarily coming from the rock and roll tradition. And I think that gives him kind of a little extra special flavor that a lot of other singers don't have. I just think he's fantastic. Number 21, Rufus.
Did you mean Adam Wainwright, the Cardinals pitcher for the last 20 years?
Yeah, now that you mention it. I meant Bronson Arroyo. He's got a record.
Bronson Arroyo is a singer, right? He has like a band that does like grunge covers and stuff.
Yes.
When you said Rufus, I immediately thought of Chaka Khan. I was like, damn, Chaka Khan. No, that was obviously a mistake.
Will anyone have Chaka Khan? My guess would be not Cram and probably not Joe either. But stay tuned to find out. Check back next week. Let us know who your 21st favorite singer of all time is down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications and check the video description for links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our website, our merch, and our Patreon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.